You're watching the 2016 BYU Football Media Day web chats. I'm Lauren Francom. Join the conversation at any time using hashtag BYU Media Day. We are here with two stellar defensive players from that 1996 team, Shay Muirbrook and Ed Lamb. Guys, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Good to see you. It's been 20 years, just to let you know, since that 1996 team. How crazy is that? Is that weird to think it's been 20 years?
It doesn't seem like it's been 20 years.
I know. Ed?
Looking at these guys, I mean, it seems like yesterday in a lot of ways. But yeah, there's the 20 years is a long time. We just think about it taken like that.
Time flies. There's a couple things I want to talk about. First of all, Shay, in your headshot, you had some bleach tips. What was the inspiration behind that hairstyle?
Just being independent, just experiencing, young adulthood and understand. Yeah, there you go.
There it is. Looking good.
Yeah, those are some of my less, not the best choices, I guess, back then. So.
Hey, that was the style, though. You look good.
Oh, well, thanks.
You look good. Ed, you actually had hair.
Yes.
Had hair back then.
That's right. I had more options back then.
A few more options.
We had full disclosure, Shay and I had a hairdresser roommate. So
yeah, really?
That's right, Carl.
Yeah, to get
that makes sense.
To get bleach tips was was free and available and could always change back.
Yeah, because honestly, when I was looking at your headshots, I'm like, their hair. That's like the first thing that stood out to me. I loved it. To put things in perspective, the #1 movie in 1996 was Independence Day. The #1 song was the Macarena. Oh, wow. Do you guys remember that dance? You don't have to do it.
Yeah, I think I remember something about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sarkisian would yell it every time we ran out on the field. He'd say, "Aye!" So, yeah, I definitely remember that. As far as the movie, though, I don't remember. It's a long time.
Steve Sarkisian legitimately yelled that every time he went out on the field?
Yeah, he would do the "Aye!" whatever that is, but he would yell it out from across the field, and so I guess that was kind of the moniker. We just had a lot of fun that year.
What was the thing to do in Provo, Utah in 1996, Shay?
Tube in the river. Tube in the river was probably I don't know, for me was one of the highlights.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Shay and I were roommates and close, and we went through a lot of things that we thought were the thing to do, but that's one of the more wholesome and enjoyable and great memories. Yeah, we tubed that river a lot. Sometimes in between practices during two-a-days, we'd go up and just sit in the river and cool off.
Yeah, it was better than the ice tub, that's for sure.
It's not a bad spot during the summer. So you guys got to know each other very well since you were roommates. Shay, what is one thing about Ed that none of us would know?
I don't. You know what? I always thought that's what I admired about Ed is he's pretty straightforward. I mean, there's not a whole lot of secrets with Ed. He's pretty stand up, and that's always what drew me to him as a friend. Is what you see is what you get.
What about Shay? What's one thing?
Same question?
Yeah, same question.
Well, I don't know that I had a sense for it when we were all together and around the guys, but. Later in life, when people would ask me, the fans of BYU really felt like that Shay's on-field persona was who he was, and what we all knew was a sincere, authentic, great friend. And I think sometimes, the tattoo and the way he played the game so violently, they figured he was a guy going around punching people in the gut all the time. Yeah, and was not scary in any way. You could count on him to perform in the games, but he was a great friend, still is.
Ed, you were a successful head coach at SUU for 7 years, back here at BYU as an assistant head coach. Update us a little bit on your life and what's been going on for the last 20 years.
Yeah, I think I'm like a lot of the guys here as I get catching up. We're all trying to balance a career that's important to us, and we've got people counting on us and whatever our jobs are, but at home we've got families, and it seems like everybody's about in that same stage of family. Some older kids maybe getting ready to go to college and being excited about that, and then I've still got some younger kids too, and so I think probably the update on my life is not all that unique and special.
Shay, so you joined the police academy. that right?
Well, no, not officially. There is an opportunity that's out there, and so we'll continue to pursue that. But that looks like that could be something that's on the horizon.
Great. What have you been up to the past 20 years?
Family. I've changed quite a bit in my attitude. I think that once you settle down, find that that sense of commitment, you don't want to tarnish it in any way. So for me, the biggest thing is family. Obviously, my wife Megan is my strength and my support, and I just go through life trying to make sure I don't do anything to tarnish or damage that trust that is placed in me from not only her but my children as well.
I love that. Unfortunately, we all have to grow up, right? One of the unfortunate things of life. Lavelle Edwards said of that 1996 team, it was just one of those years where it all came together. At what moment did you guys realize that this team was going to be special? We'll start with you, Ed.
Yeah, I can remember in the off season a couple of moments that I looked back on during the year. One of them was I remember Coach Reynolds was talking to a kind of a small group of us and said, "I don't know if you guys know how good we can be," and that struck me now later, and I've tried to remember that as a coach. He probably doesn't remember it, but something so simple as that, instilling that confidence in the guys, and then. I can also remember hanging out. I remember Steve Sarkisian said, "We got to play almost perfect to beat Texas A&M," and it was kind of like, "Yeah, okay, let's do that. Let's do that." And as well as we could have played, I think we did in some of those real tight games that we pulled out.
Shay, you have a long list of accolades from that year. WAC Defensive Player of the Year, Cotton Bowl MVP. You were inducted in the AT&T Cotton Bowl Hall of Fame. You were the defensive stud of that team. So you had a ton of critical defensive plays. When you think of that season, what moment stands out to you the most?
To be honest, it's when I'm walking off the field after the Cotton Bowl and a reporter asked me something to the effect of, your last game as a Cougar, how does it feel? And I just said, I'm a winner. To me, that's the 96 team. There was across the board we were talented, but the level of camaraderie and brotherly love is hard to touch on. It's just something that is there. It's hard to explain, but for me personally, I think it's a tribute to the team and the level of sacrifice that each individual made to that bigger cause.
Ed, there's going to be around 50 guys from that 1996 team here today. Who do you think was the most underrated player of that team?
Oh, underrated. What a great question. It would probably be the specialist guys. I mean, I'll give you an example. James Dye, I don't know if you can call him underrated. Everybody knows who he is. But I know that in our game against Wyoming, the Wyoming coach made a decision late in the game just out of fear of James. And he never touched the ball, but it completely changed the game. We would not have won that game if we didn't have just the threat of James Dye. And I think probably some of those efforts that went in on the special teams, the depth, like on defense, we had 8 defensive linemen that played all the time, a ton. That over the course of a 15-game season, I think a lot of those specialists and depth guys were a real key.
And you're a special teams coach right now, so that's probably top of mind as well.
Yeah. I hope the guys are listening.
You're like, pay attention. Shay, what would you say? Who's the most underrated player of that team?
Wow. That's a tough question. I honestly don't think there was too many players that were. I would say the whole team, and I think was kind of the mantra, just because every player across the board had kind of played with a chip on their shoulder and had something to prove. Obviously, we were all talented, but to single out one specific person and say, that person was underrated. I think that would be a slight, because there was tremendous talent across the board on that team.
Who are you guys? So you're going to be able to see a lot of your former teammates. Who are you most looking forward to seeing today? I know that's probably a hard question because you want to say every single guy, but what guy are you most looking forward to seeing today?
Well, for me, it was Shay. I mean, we spent so much time together at a point in our lives like that is so pivotal, and we're growing and learning who we are and experimenting with who we are and want to be, and then we have all these shared memories of success too, and good times, but in getting out and doing our things and chasing priorities in life, we've lost touch. And I don't think, other than a few texts over the last few years, that we've really. So I already made mention to him. I need your number, and we're not going this long again without talking. And you need to be up here every game that you can be. And so that for me is cool. But every guy I see, it's like now, it's such a great moment to see him.
Shay, you better say Ed too, or
Well, yeah, obviously.
Offended.
I think me and Ed have a special bond. Like I said, we were roommates, and we found a lot of fun together here at BYU, and obviously to see Ed is it's like just not seeing a family member, your brother for a long time, and then you're reunited, and but obviously I'm thrilled to see every single person. I'm just elated to be here and be in everyone's company.
Guys, thank you so much for being here with us. I'm excited for that 1996 show. That's going to be fun to watch.